This episode's gonna be on rear shock towers on the 6100 plate truck I'm building. Basically, I had a template laying around the shop from one of my dad's 6100 trucks he built of the rear shock towers that happened to work out perfectly for my bump zone I needed. So took that template over to Magnum Off-Road, had Danny draw me up some new, basically the same exact thing, but he redrew everything. Had him draw it up, cut it, bend it, everything, and basically throwing those on the truck. Super simple video, but finally making some progress on the truck. So with the truck all bumped out, got it sitting on two 4x4s. I got the front fully bumped out with the measurement of the shock, fully bumped out, and I have 17 right there. So I take 17, add 3 inches for the tire. That's 4 inches. So I add 3 inches of that, 7. And then my math is fucking off. So truck's bumped out on these 4x4 blocks right now. That way I get everything completely right. The front, I have 17 inches where the shock's fully bumped out, and I know I have a 6-inch ground clearance. So the front's a 6-inch ground clearance right there, and that's at 17. So I go to the rear. This is set at 17 right now, so I know I'll have a 6-inch ground clearance, but I want to go a little higher. And I have 2 inches of shock shaft showing still, so I can go about 1.5 inches higher. I'm probably only going to go 1 inch, so I have 6-inch front, 5-inch rear ground clearance or chassis clearance. And then I just happen to have one of the old 6100 shock tabs or towers, and it's basically perfect. I'm just got to move a couple things. I got to move this hole up, this hole over there, and then I'm going to blank these off so I can sand them out myself. Going to take this over to laser and have them cut me out a bunch, well, 8 total plus overlays. And I'm gonna have them cut out all the center 1.5 inch stuff and bend it. But basically this is saving me a lot of time. Truck's almost a roller. Just need to go to laser one more time. But really happy on these, that they work so well. This shock tower is for a 16 and 18 inch, 16-inch coilover, 18-inch bypass. But these are 60-inch links, and these are, I believe, like 52.5 because this car's got a shorter wheelbase. So happens to work out perfect. And yeah, got all my seals, bearings, everything for my hubs. Gonna throw those on tomorrow. Take this plate to laser. This thing should be a roller in no time. So I'm about 3/4 of the way through with making these rear shock towers on the T4. Main thing is getting this side to be perfectly symmetrical with that side. It's always the little tiny details that bug me the most when building something like this. I can measure off everything, make everything the exact same measurement, but they still won't look right. So it's super fun trying to do that, but almost there. Got a little bit more tweaking on this one to do. I think it's leaned a little bit out. Need to bring the rear end of it that way, and then we'll be ready to weld out. So these are out of 1/8 inch chromoly. So I got some gusseting tubes running through that'll be welded out. And then I have an overlay plate that'll lay over all of this and kind of double shear it up. And these will be capped off. So got the shock towers completely welded out. Got the overlay plates on there. Got welded underneath everything. I welded these on the truck. If you have the option to weld them off the truck, table weld them, it's going to be a lot easier than wiggling around in there trying to weld everything out perfect. But stoked to have these done. This is a good little milestone. Probably going to do the bump stops next. And the rear, while I already have it bumped out, do the slapper arm and bump stop up front as well. Once all that's done, then throw the shocks on and this thing can be a roller. But getting there. Alright, got a coat of paint on the shock towers and probably gonna do one more, but that's it for this video. And stay tuned. Gonna do some, put my rear hubs on, do the rear bump stops, and I don't know what else yet in the next video, but gonna keep working on this thing now that I have the opportunity, and hopefully have it done by next season.